of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Welcome to your Hometown Health Show, brought to you by Trilogy Home HealthCare, the industry leader with over 30 years of experience in providing home healthcare services such as skilled nursing, physical and occupational therapy, home health aides, and other specialized care to your homes throughout the state. Please tune in every other week as we bring you a range of good information from specialists in the field to help make you more informed and living healthy.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to your Hometown Health Show. I'm Yolanda Santana, your host and owner of All Bits Tech, an IT consulting company. This evening, I'd like to welcome our special guest, Melinda Pollard, from Artis Living of Boca Raton. And I'd like to say this is sponsored by Trilogy Home Healthcare. We are, if you're listening, you can also listen on 1470 AM, 95.3 FM, 96.9 FM, and 103.9 FM, as well as AMP2 TV Live on Facebook. Welcome and good evening, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
And we also have Jennifer Smith from Trilogy. Jennifer, would you please let our listeners and viewers know a little bit about Trilogy?
Sure. Trilogy Home Healthcare is a Medicare certified home health agency, and we offer skilled nursing, psych nursing, physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy, anywhere from Broward up through pretty much the rest of the state of Florida. And we're happy to service anyone that has Medicare.
Perfect.
Awesome.
All right, welcome again. Melinda, would you let us know a little bit about your company, Artis, and what you do for the company?
Sure. So Artis Senior Living of Boca Raton, premier memory care residence here in Boca. We specialize, obviously, in residents who have been diagnosed with some sort of memory impairment. So it's an assisted living that specializes in memory care. And, you know, truly it's your run-of-the-mill, but totally not run-of-the-mill memory care, in that we help and we assist people with their daily activities of daily living. But we do so much more to maintain the dignity of the person and not just care for the disease.
All right. That sounds great. There's so many companies out there that do that, but that don't actually specialize in what you're talking about. Mm-hmm. When you say you believe in positive partnerships the Artis way, what does that mean?
I'm so glad you asked. So positive partnerships the Artis way. The Artis way is actually the name of our philosophy, and we believe in creating those positive partnerships, not just with, you know, the resident, also with the vendors that come into our community, the families, and our outside community partners as well. So people like Trilogy that come in to help us serve and give our residents an amazing quality of life. That Artis way philosophy is actually in the name Artis. So every letter stands for a part of our philosophy. So the A is the ability to have a voice. The R is respecting and maintaining relationships. The T is treasuring each person's uniqueness. The I is integrity, and the S is success and recognition. And so all of those things work together to ensure that our residents have the ability to tell us what they want, that we do what it is that works for them, so that everybody has a unique, individualized experience at Artis.
I love that.
Yeah. If you've ever had any dealings with anyone that has memory issues, you have to have that approach, because it's not cookie cutter at all. My grandmother suffered from it before she passed, and you have to have a very individualized approach with them. So
yeah.
All right. Yeah. So I understand there's a unique design to your community. Tell the listeners a little bit more about that.
Well, if you stop by Artis Boca at 5910 Federal Highway, what you'll find is that it is 64 private suites. So it's not huge, it's not sprawling, but it's also not, small. Those 64 private suites are divvied into what we call neighborhoods. So we have 4 neighborhoods, 2 upstairs, 2 downstairs, and each of those neighborhoods brags of 16 private suites, along with the living room and a kitchen dining area. And what it really just creates like a small, intimate, family-like setting. And so it also has these really cool outside areas to each neighborhood that look like the front of homes.
Yeah,
so
like
one
porches.
like porches, exactly.
Really
so they have like red brick and there's siding and there's stone, and they all have their own fancy names, just like how you go into, a gated community. It has that same feel. So it's a really unique design that allows the residents to roam freely, as well as our outside area that is accessible through those downstairs neighborhoods, that allows people to walk and roam freely and not feel like they're closed into a small space. So.
Yeah, I've actually passed by Artists and thought that's a really nice area, and I'm like, oh, it's for senior living.
You can still stop by. We welcome tours all the time. You'd be amazed at how many people just don't know about memory care. And I really do encourage people to drill in and learn more about our industry altogether instead of waiting until you have to know about it, because you don't know who you may know that you could help someone and give them that same resource by just knowing.
There's
So
too much
stop
of a
by.
stigma behind it too, and then people wait until it's an urgent situation.
Exactly.
Of course,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. And I definitely pass that information on to people since I've been doing this show.
Yeah.
People approach me and I'm like, yes, I know someone for sure.
Right.
So why and when should someone place a loved one in an assisted living memory care community like Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton?
Well, of course, as with any assisted living, when people start needing help doing things, and that's anything. So maybe their meds have started to kind of become disarray, or they're unable to bathe themselves the way that they used to, and they're not taking, frequent showers. That's one of the first signs that you find just for assisted living, period. For memory care, obviously, anyone that's needing a little bit of extra care because of that diagnosis of some sort of dementia, whether it be Alzheimer's or any of those. And, dementia is really just a bunch of symptoms clumped together, and there's a lot of different names for those dementias. But once you have that kind of diagnosis, a memory care is what you want to start looking at, because it does just progress from there. So looking at a memory care early on is important to ensuring that people don't have to go through that really, really horrible time that happens when you just you're feed to the fire and you have no other choice. You don't want that to be when you make the decision.
And it's also helpful to not have to make multiple moves, because a lot of families are in denial about a specific diagnosis. So they think, well, they just need a little bit of help now, and they're not really fully understanding of the capacity of their loved one. So a lot of times it starts with finances, where maybe utilities are getting shut off, or they're getting all these late notices for bills when they're coming to visit, and they, their loved one can hide a lot of things, but certain things they can't hide.
Right.
So those are kind of earlier symptoms or signs that they may see with someone that has like early onset dementia.
Right.
Or, because we're all forgetful. I forget. I have to thank God for my phone. I put alarms and alerts in my phone. I use the alarm in my phone all the time, and I just set calendar reminders. People will use Post-it notes for things, but when those Post-it notes don't make sense anymore to their loved one, or maybe they'll take the car out for a drive and get lost. They'll get lost on an easy route that they're used to going. Or they'll put their keys. I misplace my keys, but I'm not putting them in the freezer. I'm not putting them in the oven in places that are not normal. So there's some non-normal, And
I really encourage caregivers to understand there is definitely a stigma attached to a memory care community, and that it's kind of considered like this last step option. But I encourage people to try to destroy that stigma for your own benefit and for your loved one's benefit. Coming and touring a place like Artist Boca, specifically Artist Boca, will help you to destroy that stigma, so that you can see the philosophy that we have allows people to live however they are living. So residents, they wake up when they want to wake up at Artist. They eat when they want to eat. Of course, we have designated times, but if someone wants to sleep until 11 o'clock and they want to be in their bathrobe till 11 o'clock, they can do that.
Sign me up.
Yeah. Seriously, our life enrichment calendar is not a standard activities calendar. It's life enrichment. They're adults, right? And it looks like the people that live there. So we don't just throw things onto the calendar. It's not a whole bunch of bingo. It's whatever our residents have told us, or their families have told us is important to them and that they like to do. And so that's why it's ever changing. So if you're someone who maybe you're on early onset, right? And you feel like, I don't actually need a memory care community, coming to a place like Artist Boca means that you get a chance to have on the calendar what you want on there. So you enjoy poetry, you enjoy floral arranging, that kind of thing can be, supplied for you, and make sure that everyone else is also joining in, and you have a community, a social community as well.
And it's so crucial to start those activities early and often, because it keeps, like, if they're going into another facility or community where they're not engaged, they're going to lose the ability to do those things faster.
Yeah.
So to be in a community similar to Artists, where they're engaged more frequently and they're encouraged to do things on their own
Right.
and just guided, they're going to be able to retain those abilities for a longer period of time.
Yeah. And the decline will happen
Yeah.
slower.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm well versed because obviously I'm a grandmother, but I'm also a certified dementia practitioner. So for me, it's just like such a passion for me.
Yeah.
Goodness. Okay, well, on that note, we're going to take a quick, small commercial break.
All right.
We'll be right back.
Trilogy was established in 2016 by industry experts with over 30 years in home health care operations spanning 30-plus counties throughout the state of Florida. With offices in Jacksonville, Port St. Lucie, West Palm Beach, we strive to provide the most optimal care to our patients in a fun, forward-thinking environment. Our focus is on personal relationships, whether with an employee, a patient, or an outside community. Because we know that when people enjoy what they do, it becomes why they do it. Call Trilogy today at 954-689-6660 and ask for more information. In addition to offering the standard mix of services, SN, PT, OT, speech, MSW, and HHA, we also take great pride in being on the cutting edge and offering care and education to our licensed clinicians in other areas most agencies likely don't offer. Emotional and behavioral health with our psych nursing, biofeedback for bladder incontinence and pelvic pain, chemotherapy, IV hydration, antibiotic and respiratory therapy. Call today at 954-689-6660. Trilogy Home Care. You have been listening to the Trilogy Home Health Show, and if you wish to be a guest on our show, please call us at 561-670-9213 and let us share your knowledge and information with our listeners. Trilogy Home Health Care Show enjoys serving the community and bringing doctors and facilities of interest to help educate and inform the community. Please call us at 561-670-9213 and let us put you on the airwaves with the Trilogy Home Health Show.
Good evening and welcome. You are listening to your Hometown Health Show, and I'm Yolanda Santana, your host of the show. We have Trilogy, the sponsor of the show, as well as Melinda Pollard, special guest with Artists Senior Living of Boca. Welcome again.
Hello.
And so we're going to get right back into it. What specialty programs does Artists Senior Living of Boca offer?
Well, on top of obviously being a specialized memory care, we do special things for our residents that you're not going to find a lot of times at a lot of other memory cares. For instance, our ICANN program, which is a program that allows our residents to still be involved in the community. We're talking about residents that have owned companies, that were big, set on boards and big community volunteers. So we still want to do things that engage them into the community, into the Boca and the Broward and Palm Beach County areas. So we do things like putting together little baggies for homeless, or putting together back to school backpacks, or things like that, and writing little notes to those people just to say, hey, I'm here. And they
great.
feel engaged. We also have the I'm All Right program. Recently, they wrote notes to all of our new residents at our Artist Davie location to welcome them home. They also did birthday cards to someone turning 100 in another state.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so they do those kind of things to still be engaged. And it's part of the life enrichment programming there. The ICANN and the I'm All Right, those to me are just, they touch my heart, because it means that you're not just in a memory care, because you have dementia. You're there obviously for someone to care for you, but you're still being able to be an integral part of the community that you live in.
That's wonderful. It's important because, I mean, that's just a vast amount of knowledge and wisdom that is there.
Yeah, serving a
Exactly.
purpose and helping
Yeah.
others, and that's
Man,
wonderful.
I'm telling you, we do something called a partnership profile when someone moves in, and so a lot of that uniqueness I was telling you about comes from all of the information that we gather in this 9 to 11 page document that the families complete for us, and it talks about what do they do for a living. It talks about what do they enjoy doing, favorite meals, favorite food, so on and so forth. And when you see some of the stories that the families give, where they've traveled the world, they've been archaeologists, they've been interior designers for the president, they've done all of this amazing stuff, and just because they're here in a memory care doesn't mean that they're not still
you can't
those
take
people.
that away from them.
Exactly.
They still have so many stories to tell you,
Right.
and their short-term memory might be gone, but their long-term memory and the stories they share is amazing.
It is. It really is.
So your facility sounds awesome
Well,
and
our
wonderful.
community.
Yes.
We don't call it a facility.
Yes, our
we're a
community.
Pardon me, your community.
Yes. Yes.
Artist community sounds wonderful.
Thank you.
Who, with all the services, who pays for it? How does someone pay for it?
Yeah, so, and which is, I know Jennifer and I both have seen these stories on and on and on again, and it breaks your heart when you see people not prepared for this time in your life, which it happens to many, not just memory care, but assisted living as well. So obviously, if you are young, and when I say young, I mean if you are in the 40 to 60, make sure that you have a plan in place, please. Make sure you've gotten that long-term care policy together. Make sure you've talked to your financial advisor and started putting those blocks together to be prepared for a time like this. That being said, the way that people are normally paying for a place like Artis Boca is through long-term care policy. And then if you happen to have been a veteran or married to a veteran, you have access to veteran benefits that help you pay. Some communities do still accept, it's not really called a Medicaid waiver anymore, but we still call it that because we don't know what they're calling it now.
I know.
But essentially what it is, it's an amount of money. It's not your Medicaid insurance, but it's an amount of money that the Medicaid gives on a waiver. It's like a subsidized part that's about $1,100 to $1,300. Problem is, not many communities accept it anymore. So a lot of times when people are looking to spend down their money so that they can be approved for this Medicaid waiver thingy, they don't have a lot of places they can use it in, and then they're forced to go to places like a skilled nursing community or facility, which are not bad, okay, but they really are the last step because they're really more for that long-term clinical care. If you're looking for someone to still be very engaged and have that active life, you really want to look at an assisted living, and even more with a memory care community. So yeah, those are the ways that people normally pay, either private pay because they've done a lot of planning and they just happen to have that money, the long-term care policy, the veterans, and then, if another community, not ours, does accept that Medicaid waiver, you can look to that as an option as well.
All right. That's fantastic. Sounds like a lot that sets you guys apart. Tell me about Boca Best.
Boca Best. Thank you for asking. # Boca Best. So, our fearless leader, Cheryl Taylor, and our incredible director team, it's kind of something we've adopted. And really, in Artis, the company, our big corporate people, they know us as Boca Best as well. We do everything with a spirit of excellence. Not that all of our artist communities don't do that as well, because that philosophy is truly ingrained into each and every artist community around the country. But Boca Best, we just do things a little different because we're in Boca, and we want to make sure that our people know that they are the cream of the crop. They are at the top of our list, whatever our families want. Our executive director, Cheryl Taylor, truly it is in her heart to be sure that our families know that they have that ability to have a voice, that we do treasure their uniqueness. So yeah, they text her in the middle of the night, to figure out, how to solve a problem where mom or dad needs something. She's back there. She's been known to roll up her sleeves and help out, as well as all of our director staff. They really have such a heart, and I cannot go on and on and on without talking about our amazing care partners. So we don't have aides in our community. We have some care partners, and our care partners actually are the working oil of those neighborhoods I talk to you about. So there's always at least 2 care partners on every neighborhood. And when I tell you, these people are devoted. They do everything there. They don't just do the job of what aides do in other communities. They also do the laundry there. Yep. They serve the meals there. They're family. So, I mean, to talk about Boca Best, you just really have to go see it. Everyone that goes, they see it. Everyone that I ever bring in to tour say, this is different. They've never seen anything like it before.
Okay. All right. Definitely.
Yeah. It's kind of hard not to get attached, too, when you get really attached when, a new resident moves in and, the staff just get really attached to them. And
they do.
When you see them day in and day out, and you do everything with them, not for them, but with them.
And so you can imagine if we're doing more than just taking care of their, what we call ADLs, those activities of daily living, we're doing way more than that. you can imagine how much more attached. And it's truly a labor of love that our care partners do. And I can't leave out our life and enrichment team who provide those daily moments of being able to be engaged and have, again, that dignity. It's just, I am totally forgetting the most important role in the whole building. Oh my goodness. The reason that we are different is our director of partnership development, and that's Samara Schneider. And so she is just a gold mine of being able to keep in touch with those families, of making sure that people have what they want. You won't find that role anywhere else. It literally is a unique role to artists that allows, we call her the keeper of our philosophy. I call her the connective tissue. I have a lot of different names for her. She's super cute. She's amazing and awesome. And so if anyone ever wanted to know why are we so different, all of those pieces I just talked about, our director team, our care partners, and our director of partnership development, you're just not going to find what we have at Boca Best anywhere else.
Goodness. Okay. So, as a part of that, please describe a scenario in which you would work with Trilogy.
Yeah, definitely. So one of the important things for us, our health and wellness director, Noelle Fagans, she works closely with the families to ensure that the residents are able to age in place. So again, Jennifer had mentioned we don't want our residents having to leave us at any point other than, the inevitable leaving.
Right.
So outside of that, we are working to work with the families. We're looking to work with the families as much as possible. And that's where Trilogy would come in, is being able to say, okay, mom needs a little bit more care, and which would technically mean that, it may cost a little more money for this, but instead of doing this, why don't we just bring in some home health to be able to take care of that wound, or to take care of, that additional assistance, whatever that may be. Maybe it's a cath or something like that. We want to ensure that we call in our home health, partners to help the family, help their family member age in place.
Okay, that sounds great. So, can the residents choose which company they'd like to work with?
Of course. So in our industry, ethics are everything. And so it is patient's choice. So we're always looking to be sure that our residents, our families have the choice of choosing who. We are the experts, so we're going to offer them up options, of course. But that's essentially how those decisions are made, is by the family ultimately.
Okay. And what does a person need to do that feels they need services like Trilogy's?
Well, obviously you would reach out to Jennifer, or you can reach out to me. So one of the unique things as well of where Artists is we're on Federal Highway, which is a high traffic area. We've also done, some very blanket marketing type things, which means our phones ring a lot for people that may not be appropriate for our community. But we consider ourselves a resource, and so we connect people to like a Trilogy and anyone else that maybe they're looking for Medicaid benefits, or they need someone to help with veterans assistance. So that is how we would connect them with Trilogy, is by simply either warm transferring through email or phone call, or giving Jennifer their phone number and letting them
And
go
vice
from there.
versa. We've worked, personally, I've worked with Melinda for many years now, actually.
Yes.
So it's just great to have that relationship back and forth.
Yeah.
Because we never want to ever, meet with someone and not be able to offer a service to them. I know that I wouldn't want that to happen to me, and I know vice versa with Melinda. So
Definitely.
Of course. And lastly, how can someone get in touch with you if they want to learn more about Artists Senior Living of Boca Raton, or even schedule a tour?
Sure, and we welcome all tours. So you can call us, obviously, at 561-989-9945 to speak with either Rebecca. Rebecca Schuler is our Director of Marketing. She's inside there. She's always available to take that phone call. If she's not available, if I'm in the building, then I'm also available as well, too. As the Director of Community Relations, I'm out of the building a lot, but anyone there can take that call and get that tour scheduled for you. As well as emailing me, if you'd like, at mpollard@artistsmgmt.com. That's M as in Mary, P as in Peter, OLLAR, D as in dog, @artistsmgmt, like management.com.
And your website?
And you can reach us at www.artistseniorliving.com.
Well, this has been wonderful.
absolutely.
Yeah.
We're just wrapping it up.
All right.
And it's been a pleasure having you as a special guest this evening.
It's been a pleasure being here. Thank you so much to Trilogy for inviting us in.
It was our pleasure, absolutely.
Thank you.
Anything you want to leave our guests with or listeners with this evening?
Yeah, sure. Stay tuned. We do try to provide opportunities for caregivers to do anything that they need to connect with the resources. So we do have a support group that meets at our community. So if you're interested in the caregiver support group, feel free to reach us at 561-989-9945.
Perfect. I want to thank everyone for listening and watching. I'm Yolanda Santana, your host for your Hometown Health Show. Thank you to Trilogy. Thank you, Melinda Pollard.
Yeah.
Thank you to Artist Senior Living of Boca Raton. Thank you, Jennifer Smith.
Thank you.
Have a great evening, everyone.
Good night.
Trilogy Home Healthcare invites you to call our offices before making a decision about your home health and rehabilitative care. Different from other agencies, Trilogy offers specialized service that other agencies don't, providing exceptional care. That's who we are and what we do. Call us at 866-599-4959 or go to trilogyhomehealthcare.com.